The Christmas tree in my parents' lavish living room sparkled with expensive ornaments, but the atmosphere was anything but festive. I sat on the edge of the designer sofa, enduring another round of their favorite holiday tradition, mocking my career choices. "So, Olivia," Dad swirled his aged whiskey, "still running that tiny flower shop downtown? What do you call it again?" "Blooming something." "Blooming Dreams," I corrected quietly, gripping my water glass. "And yes, I am." Mom sighed dramatically, adjusting her pearl necklace. "Darling, when are you going to grow up? Your father and I built Morgan Industries into a Fortune 500 company, and you're playing with daisies." I bit back a retort. If they only knew that Blooming Dreams was just the public face of my real business empire. Dream Enterprises, one of the largest commercial real estate investment firms in the country. The flower shop was my sanctuary, my passion project, but behind it lay a network of properties and investments worth billions. "The shop's doing well actually," I said. "We're expanding dash." "Expanding?" Dad laughed, the sound sharp and mocking. "What, adding a second cash register? Face it, Olivia, you're wasting your business degree on a hobby." Mom stood up, walking to the window that overlooked the city skyline. "Look at this view. All these buildings, this success. This could have been yours if you just joined the company like we wanted." Little did they know I already owned half those buildings, including the one their company operated from. Through careful shell corporations and private holdings, I'd built my empire in secret, watching and waiting for the perfect moment. "Speaking of the company," Dad continued, "we're finally moving to a bigger office building. The Morrison Tower downtown. Now that's real business, Olivia. Not some little flower shop." I nearly choked on my water. The Morrison Tower, my latest acquisition, purchased through one of my holding companies last week. They had no idea they'd been negotiating their new lease with my representatives. "That's interesting," I managed. "We're signing the final papers next month," Mom added proudly. 20 floors of prime real estate. Maybe you should come see it, learn what success really looks like." "Oh, I'll be there," I said softly. "Sooner than you think." Dad's phone buzzed. He frowned at the screen. "Strange. The real estate company handling the Morrison Tower lease wants to move our signing to next week. Some urgent matter with the owner. Must be important." I stood up, gathering my coat. "Well, I should go. The shop opens early tomorrow." "Of course it does," Mom sighed. "Selling $5 daisies to college students. Such a waste." As I drove away from their mansion in my modest car, I smiled at the irony. Tomorrow they'd receive the email announcing an urgent all-hands meeting at their office. The day after, they'd gather their entire staff to meet their building's new owner. And I would finally show them exactly what their failure daughter had built while they were busy mocking her dreams. My phone rang. My real assistant, not the sweet grandmother who helped at the flower shop. "Ms. Morgan, everything's set for Wednesday's revelation. Should I proceed with phase 2? "Yes," I replied, thinking of my parents' smug faces. It's time they learned what real success looks like. Wednesday morning arrived crisp and clear. I stood in my private office at the top of the Morrison Tower, watching my parents' company employees file into the main conference room 20 floors below. Through the security feed, I could see my father pacing, checking his watch repeatedly, while my mother sat rigidly in her chair, her perfect posture betraying her anxiety. "Ms. Morgan," my assistant Rebecca appeared. "Everyone's assembled. Your parents are getting impatient." I smoothed down my designer suit. No more casual flower shop attire today. Let them wait another 5 minutes. "How's the other situation?" "The audit team is ready. They found irregularities in your parents' company finances. Significant ones." I nodded. Of course they had. I'd suspected financial misconduct for years. It was one of the reasons I'd stayed away from Morgan Industries. My secret empire was built on legitimate success, not creative accounting. "Time to go," I said, picking up a leather portfolio. "Is everything else in place?" "Yes. The flower shop staff is handling the special delivery as we speak." The elevator ride down was swift and silent. I could hear the murmurs from the conference room even before the doors opened. Over 100 employees, all wondering why they'd been summoned to meet their building's mysterious new owner. "Ladies and gentlemen," High CFO James called for attention. Please welcome the owner of Morrison Tower and CEO of Dream Enterprises, Ms. Olivia Morgan." The room fell silent as I walked in. My mother's coffee cup slipped from her fingers, splattering across the polished floor. My father's face drained of color. "Welcome to my building," I said, my voice carrying across the stunned room. "I believe we have some matters to discuss." "Olivia." My father's voice cracked. "What is this? What are you doing here?" "Business, Dad. Real business." I moved to the front of the room, clicking a remote. The screen behind me lit up with the Dream Enterprises portfolio. Dozens of premium properties across the city, including several buildings Morgan Industries had tried and failed to acquire. "This is impossible," Mom whispered. "You run a flower shop." "I do," I confirmed. "Blooming Dreams is my passion project. But Dream Enterprises? That's my empire." I clicked through more slides, watching their faces as they realized the extent of my success. "Over the past 5 years, while you were mocking my tiny shop, I was building this. Every property you tried to buy, every deal you lost to mysterious competitors. That was me." The employees shifted uncomfortably, many hiding smiles. Clearly, I wasn't the only one who'd grown tired of my parents' arrogance. "But today isn't just about revealing my success," I continued. "It's about addressing some concerns our audit team has uncovered about Morgan Industries' financial practices." Dad stood up abruptly. "Now wait just a minute, Dash. Sit down, Dad." My voice was steel. "The SEC will be very interested in what we've found. But I'm offering you a choice." "A choice?" Mom's voice trembled. "Yes. Option 1. We turn over our findings to the authorities. Option 2. You agree to a complete restructuring of Morgan Industries under Dream Enterprises oversight. You're taking over our company?" Dad's face turned red. "No, Dad. I'm saving it. From you." Just then the conference room doors opened. A parade of Blooming Dreams staff members entered, each carrying elaborate flower arrangements. They placed one in front of every employee, except my parents. "Consider these a welcome gift to your new corporate family," I announced to the staff, along with immediate raises to match market rates and a complete review of the benefits package. The employees burst into applause. My parents sat frozen, watching their empire shift beneath their feet. "Well," I turned to them. "What's it going to be? Scandal or salvation?" 6 months after the takeover, Morgan Industries had been completely transformed. The old regime of fear and financial manipulation had been replaced with transparency and innovation. Employee satisfaction was at an all-time high, and profits had increased legitimately by 40%. I sat in my office, a combination of corporate power and natural beauty, with my beloved flowers integrated into the modern design. The wall of windows offered a perfect view of Blooming Dreams below, now expanded into a gorgeous street-level garden center that served as the crown jewel of the building. "Ms. Morgan," Rebecca entered with a tablet. "Your parents are here for their quarterly review." I nodded. "Send them in." They looked different now, humbled. Dad's expensive suits had been replaced with business casual wear appropriate for his new position as a senior advisor. Mom, who now worked in community relations, had traded her flashy jewelry for a simple pearl necklace. "Olivia," Dad began, settling into a chair. "The Q3 reports are ready for your review. How are the new sustainability initiatives progressing?" I asked, noting how they both sat straight-backed, professional, so different from their previous condescending attitudes. "The green rooftop gardens are exceeding expectations," Mom reported. "Who knew my daughter's silly flower knowledge would become our biggest corporate innovation?" I raised an eyebrow at her tone, and she quickly added, "I mean, your expertise has revolutionized our approach to commercial properties. It's amazing what can happen when you combine passion with business acumen," I replied. "How are you both adjusting to your new roles?" Dad shifted uncomfortably. "It's enlightening. Working under proper corporate governance, following actual regulations. I never realized how much unnecessary risk I was taking before." "And the employees?" I pressed. "They respect you," Mom admitted. "Not out of fear like they did with us, but because you've earned it. The way you handled the transition, protecting jobs while cleaning up our mess." She paused, blinking back tears. "We were so wrong about you, Olivia." I stood, walking to the window. Below, customers browsed through blooming dreams, the shop that had been my sanctuary during years of their mockery. You know what the difference is between us? I asked. I never needed to prove my success to anyone. Every building I bought, every deal I made, it was about building something meaningful, not showing off. We understand that now, Dad said quietly. Watching you run these companies, you're better at this than I ever was. Because I learned from your mistakes, I turned back to them. Every time you mocked my tiny shop, I studied why big companies fail. Every time you flaunted your wealth, I invested in people and innovation instead of appearances. Just then, Rebecca appeared with an urgent message. The Wilson contract is ready for signing. And the special project is complete. I smiled. Perfect timing. I handed my parents 2 envelopes. Open them. They pulled out ceremonial keys and confused expressions. Those are the keys to your new offices, I explained. Dad, the mentorship program for young entrepreneurs needs an experienced advisor. Mom, the community garden initiative needs a director. Real positions with real responsibility, if you're ready to earn them. You're giving us another chance? Mom whispered. No, I corrected. I'm giving you an opportunity to prove yourselves, just like any other employee. The question is, are you ready to work as hard as that silly flower shop girl did? They stared at the keys, understanding the significance. These weren't positions of power, but of purpose. When do we start? Dad asked. Tomorrow. Don't be late. I turned back to the window. Oh, and one more thing. Every executive in this company works 1 shift a month at Blooming Dreams. It keeps us grounded, reminds us where real growth begins. As they left, I heard Mom whisper to Dad, our daughter owns the building, and she still sells flowers. No, I murmured to myself, watching the sunset reflect off my buildings across the skyline. I don't just sell flowers. I grow dreams, and sometimes they bloom into empires.